All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the video. Today, I'm going to be sharing with you guys my $30,000 luxury watch collection. Now, I'm only 27 years old, so I'm pretty fortunate to have a collection like the one that I have, and I'm really glad to share it with you guys. So I'll tell you a little bit about the story behind each watch and kind of like my watch collecting journey so far. So let's go ahead and get started. So back in 2022, I started a travel job, and it was the first time in my life I was making six figures. And at that same time, I started getting into watches, and I'll talk about a little bit more about that later. But this watch I was mulling over for weeks and weeks and weeks, and I would just be watching videos about it, reading about it online at work, to the point where even one of my coworkers were like, dude, you keep looking at that every day, just buy it. And so I finally pulled the trigger and I got my very first watch, which is this one, the Hamilton Khaki Field Auto 41. This is such a beautiful watch. I was doing research on what's the best first Swiss watch that someone could get. I wanted the things that were kind of characteristic to Swiss watches, which is a deployment clasp, a nice leather band, an open case back that shows an automatic movement, which you can see right there. Absolutely gorgeous and beautiful, even at its price. And of course, I wanted all these Swiss characteristics at a price that won't break my bank. And this one was under $1,000. I believe at the time I bought it for about 650 bucks. And I'm happy about this purchase even to this day. I wear this when I'm doing work outside. Heck, I think I even brought it camping one time, so it actually saw the field for once. But this was my first luxury purchase. God, I was mulling over this for so long until I finally pulled the trigger to make the purchase. And till this day, I'm glad I did. So that's the Hamilton Khaki Field Auto. So the next watch I got is actually the watch that got me into loving watches in the first place. I remember I didn't really get luxury shopping, luxury items purchase, or purses and stuff like that, watches. Like, why would someone spend thousands of bucks when you can just get a Casio that's $30 and it tells really good time? Way better than these automatic and manual watches. Until I saw this one watch on a poster when I was walking through one of the casino malls in Las Vegas. I remember it stunned me so much that I didn't even say anything to my parents who I was walking with at the time, and I just gravitated straight into one of the stores because I wanted to talk to the sales lady, and I asked her, hey, can I see that watch that was hanging in the banner outside? And this was that watch that got me into watches in the first place. After seeing this watch, it all clicked in my brain. I was hooked forever. I got the watch bug. And that is the Omega Seamaster Diver 300. What a stunner of a watch. One of the best bargains I think you can get in the watch world. At the time I bought this for about 5,600 bucks. I didn't even tell you how I purchased it. I told you guys that it really got me into watches, but I didn't buy it that day because at that time I don't even think I graduated college yet. So fast forward about 6 months after I got this watch, I was still making six figures, doing really well, and this time, I kind of broke the seal in terms of getting luxury watches when I got the Hamilton. And so now I was like, okay, I'm on the hunt for that watch that I truly love, even if money was no object. And at that point, since this is the watch that I wanted at the price point that it was at, money really wasn't an object because I was making good money at that point. And so we started the mulling over process again. For a few months, I watched blogs and read articles about it, watched videos comparing this watch to that watch. God, look at that movement. Oh my goodness. Let's see if it'll focus. Absolutely gorgeous movement. Look at all the jewels. But getting distracted. Couple more weeks of mulling over it until I finally made the trip back down to Vegas, and I talked to the Wynn Omega branch in the Wynn Resort in Vegas. And I talked to my sales rep, his name's Johnny. Shout out to Johnny. I told him I'm gonna come back on this day in October to purchase this watch. We kind of made an appointment out of it. And when I showed up that day, he reserved the back room of the Omega for us, for me and my family. So we had champagne, we just had some conversations, celebrated. And I'll include some pictures and videos of whatever I can find from that day, but it was an absolutely magical experience. Such a great experience, given that I got one of the cheaper watches that Omega sells. Omega sells watches that are like $15,000, $20,000, $30,000, and that's usually who the reserve experience is, like reserving the back entire room of a of a location, and having champagne. We even had some tequila, and he made the first true luxury watch purchase I ever made. Such a memorable occasion and such a core memory, and I will never forget it. Thank you so much, Johnny in the Win Omega. If you guys ever need any watch stuff, hopefully he's still over there. Ask for Johnny, he'll take really good care of you. But that's the story behind my Omega Seamaster Diver 300. So after this watch, I stopped my travel job because I needed a home base. I was in school and doing my master's degree. And I found myself, moving to a new town. I was all alone. I was single, no girlfriend, and I was doing pretty good in stock investing. I was focused. I was killing it in fitness. My career was moving along really well, and life was just really good. And so I found myself in a Rolex dealership in the new city. I met some of the people at that branch. Awesome place. It's like a family place, but they also sell jewelry. You guys know what I'm talking about. One of those combo places that sells jewelry, Rolexes, and other brands. And I let them know, hey, this is my X and YZ is my Grail watch, but here are my other watches that I am interested in. And we'll get back to that Grail watch a little bit later on. But after I told them what watches I wanted, they said, okay, we'll see what we can do. Stop in from time to time to keep the relationship, and we'll call you when something comes in. So I leave. I visit here and there, maybe once a month, once or every 2 months. But about 5 months after I first went into that store and told them what I wanted, I got a phone call while I was at work from Rolex saying, hey, this isn't the exact watch that you asked for, but it's something really similar and I think you'd be interested. This is what it is. Do you want it? And after a mini panic attack and having to think about it for 10 minutes over the phone, I called him back and said, hey, I'll take it. And so that watch was this one. This is the Rolex Datejust Oyster Perpetual in 41 smooth bezel. And look at that. What a stunner of a watch. I knew that this wasn't the popular configuration of this watch. Everyone wants the fluted bezel and the Jubilee bracelet, but this was around the time when watches were really hype and everyone knew about Rolexes and watches, and unfortunately people were getting robbed for nice watches. So I wanted something that wasn't too glamorous, didn't pull too much attention, but also something that was neutral enough that I could wear it anywhere. The Omega, as much as I love it, it's blue, and blue doesn't go with everything. So I wanted something silver dial, not too classy, not too sporty, and this fit the bill. I got in 41 too, a little bit bigger, but I do have pretty big hands, so I think it works on my wrist. And so this watch is my most worn watch out of every watch in my collection by far. If you can see, I hate to show you, but look at all the scratches and scuffs. Beautiful Rolex insignia right on the clasp there, but look at the buckle on this thing. It is beat to hell. Like, I really do wear the heck out of my watches. So this watch, since it matches with any occasion and any outfit, I wear it to work. I wore it to school when I had school things to attend to. I wear it to casual occasions, hanging out with friends, and even classy informal dinners. So yeah, the Rolex Datejust 41 Oyster Perpetual smooth bezel oyster bracelet, my first Rolex in my collection. And so after this, I was still doing my master's program. My career was still doing pretty good. And so I told my Rolex dealer, my Rolex representative, shout out to Dylan, he's actually one of my closer friends as well. I told him, hey, I got the first Rolex Datejust. How about that Grail watch that I was asking for? If one really did come in, I will purchase it right away. It's an automatic yes. And here's the configuration that I wanted in, let me know. And for a few months they were like, okay, well, we're doing our best, we'll see what we can do. But then it was kind of getting close to my graduation. And so I told my Rolex representative, I said, hey, I'm gonna graduate soon. if you can get me that Grail watch that I want a few weeks before I graduate, I will pick it up, I'll purchase it, I will wear it, and it'll be a momentous occasion because I'm gonna wear it when I cross the stage to get my diploma, to my master's degree, to start my new career in the next position that I was gonna have with, my new degree. And they said, okay, we hear you, we'll see what we can do. I didn't actually think much of it, but lo and behold, maybe 3 or 4 weeks before my graduation, I get a call from Dylan, my representative at Rolex, and he said, Francis, we got exactly what you asked for. We pulled as many strings as we can for you because we love you, and we got you the watch. And I said, yeah, I'm gonna get it. I'll be there this day to pick it up. Don't give it to anyone else. And he said, of course, it's your name's on it. It's not going anywhere. Come in on that day. And so I put on some nice clothes when that day came, and I came to pick up the watch. And when Dylan opened the door, he greeted me with a little cheeky bottle of Pepsi, which is kind of giving away what this watch is going to be. My Grail watch, the watch that I wore crossing the stage when I picked up my master's degree diploma. This is the Rolex BLRO Pepsi GMT Master 2 on the Jubilee bracelet. What a beautiful watch. This is my Grail watch, my perfect watch, and I think out of every watch that's in the market right now, precious metal, stainless steel, sport, dressy, I don't care. I believe that this is the best watch that's ever been made. It's just my opinion, all right? But the movement with the GMT movement, the accuracy of it, the just enough complication where it's not some calendar QP type thing going on. It's not a chronograph, but you still get the utility of someone like me who travels a good amount. You have the multiple time zones, plus the dichotomy of colors with the blue and red, and the versatility of the black dial in the middle. It's just perfect. The Jubilee bracelet just juxtaposes the sportiness of the case by being really dressy and classy, almost even feminine to the masculine opposite of the main case, bezel, and dial. The double clasp, so beautiful. And what's great too with this is that this Jubilee bracelet, since it has these little links, if you can see, there's a little bit of holes in it, so it's actually breathable and molds to your wrist. Look at this. Like, this thing will mold to your wrist when you put it on. And when it's hot outside, you have a 1-link extension to this. Let me show you guys that really quick. If you look here, if your arm gets a little bit fat, you can click, boom, you have a 1/2-link extension there to give you a little bit more room when you're puffy on a hot day. But yeah, guys, this is my Grail watch, what I think the best watch ever made. I love it. I actually wear it. If you can see, the Jubilee does really well at hiding scratches and scuffs, but hey, look at this guy. The clasp will never lie. There's some scratches and dings to that thing. This is not a museum piece. I actually wear it. I actually give it some love outside of the watch box. My favorite watch in my collection, what I think is the best watch, the Rolex GMT Master 2 BLRO Pepsi bezel. Shout out to Rolex Devons here in my city. Shout out to Dylan. Thank you. I promise this watch is in good hands and you guys did not make a bad decision. So that's it for my luxury watches. I do want to share the other 2 watches that I have in my collection. One of which is one of these hype watches. And let me pull it out for you guys. It is the Omega MoonSwatch. I have the Venus version. So fun thing about this watch, each member of my family bought one at the same time. It was Christmas about 2 or 3 years ago when they first came out, and they were super sought after. So I have the Venus. My sister, I believe, has the Saturn. My dad has the Mercury, and my mom has either the Mars or the Jupiter. I can't remember, but it's really fun since it's like our family watch. Sometimes we'll text or call each other. If we're all going somewhere all out together, we'll tell each other, hey, wear your MoonSwatch, so we'll all be matching. So this, even though it's the cheapest watch in this whole box, I think it holds a really special place in my heart. So the Omega MoonSwatch collaboration. Last watch in my box. So the last watch in my box is this guy. This is the John Mayer, Hodinkee, and Casio collaboration. This happened about 3 years ago now. And I remember I'm a huge John Mayer, huge Hodinkee, and a pretty big G-Shock fan. I owned a number of G-Shocks back when I was in college. But with this one, I knew that John Mayer and Hodinkee had made 2 other watches previously, a white one and a gray one of this. And I knew that I had to have this next one because they said that this was going to be their last collaboration together. So I actually set an alarm for the morning that this came out, and it sold out in like 30 minutes. Luckily, I was able to snag 3 of them. One, which is this one, which I actually wear, and it's in my rotation of watches that I wear. Another one that's in a box and won't ever be open. It's like a collector's item that I hoard in my closet. And I got a third one to give to my mom for Christmas, and that was her Christmas gift. I don't know if she actually wears it, but one of these days, if I go to vacation with my parents, I'll tell my mom to pull it out of the box and wear it so we can be matching, especially if we're going somewhere swimming and the G-Shock is perfectly at home, being in the ocean and water, snorkeling in the Bahamas, or doing some beach activities in Hawaii. Me and my mom can have a little mother and son matching timepiece. So the G-Shock, John Mayer, and Hodinkee collaboration. That's the last watch I have in my 6-watch collection. Future watches that I want in my collection. You know, I don't really buy watches just for fun. They're all moments in time in my life, chapters in my life, and what's changed over time. But when an occasion comes that's special, the next one that I think I'm gonna get is a Cartier tank. I don't have a square watch, so I think it will fit like a niche in my collection that I need. Plus, it's more of like a purely dressy watch, and I think it's a little bit more sophisticated and a little bit older, so I think it would be a really good addition to the collection. My best friend Zach also wants a Cartier tank, so it would be really cool if we could make an occasion to celebrate our friendship, to meet up somewhere in like a city, because he's in a completely different city from me, so we could fly to a city, preferably one with like no sales tax or something, and we'll both get a Cartier tank at the same time. I think that'd be really special. One last watch I wanted to sneak in here is this guy. This is a 32mm gold-plated Timex quartz. I picked this up about 3 weeks ago when I was in the Philippines, and I actually got it for my girlfriend. My girlfriend is super not into luxury. She thinks this stuff is a waste of money. All of her clothes and all of her purses and shoes are all like thrifted because she's a very thrifty person. But I figured I'll rope her into the watch collecting and get her hooked on the watch bug. So I got her this Timex to get her started. Gold is more her theme, but I didn't want to buy a solid gold watch that was super expensive. So I got this one for her to get her started, and who knows, maybe in the future we'll have some matching Cartiers or something like that. I don't know. We can dream, but maybe in the future. But I just wanted to sneak that in. A little special shout out to my girlfriend. Hopefully you appreciate the watch. She cried when I gave it to her, so that probably means I did pretty good. Alright guys, but thanks for watching. That's my watch collection. Comment down below what you think of the watch collection, and what other watches you think would look good as an addition to this. I think that Cartier tank would be really nice in here. Maybe even the rose gold or yellow gold version if they make one that's a good size for my wrist. Alright, but otherwise, I know this is kind of different from all the other stuff on the channel. This is mostly a finance channel, so if you want to know what I'm doing in the stock market and the real estate market for 2025 and onward, so help you guys make some more money and be able to afford more watches like these, click the channel logo and check out the other videos. Otherwise, like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Alright guys, take care.